Okay, let's try that again. There was something, I don't know what went on there, some problem with my internet connection. Clearly, living out in the sticks in the middle of nowhere in Norfolk is a bit of an issue unless you want to be left alone, but broadband out here is sadly very lacking. But the reason I came on today, it's unplanned, unscheduled, but a question that's cropped up a couple of times is how do I stop myself overthinking? And overthinking can be an absolute nightmare, to be honest. If you suffer from anxiety and you find yourself overthinking, it's difficult to switch it off because it's just one of those things. You're thinking about this, you're thinking about that, and the more it goes on, the more things you think of, and then you think of something else, and that stirs up something else, and it just seems like you can't stop. And to be quite frank, I've had that in the past when I did suffer from anxiety, and it was bloody awful. Actually, it really, really became very difficult because every time you thought you were sort of getting back on top of the pile, if you like, something else would come into your mind and you start thinking about that, and then you start to worry about something else. And it's awful because before you know it, you've got 100 things all buzzing around in your bloody head and you cannot stop. And it felt like sometimes there was never an end. And if if you suffer from this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It is, to be honest, it's fucking awful. I'm going to swear because it really is. And it can hold you back in so many ways. So how do you stop it? Well, the good news is it's actually pretty easy. But, and here's the word of warning, you have to practice taking back control. But you can do it, and it's actually a really, really simple technique. It's easier than you might think. Excuse me. So, how the hell do you stop it? Well, it's pretty straightforward. You have to practice being still. And I don't just mean being still as in don't move, I mean as in being still here in your head. And that's a neat trick. And to be honest, if you can master this technique to stop the what ifs and all the overthinking, you can then use this technique to become actually incredibly powerful with the way you are able to focus and concentrate your brain. Because a lot of people find it hard to focus, a lot of people find it hard to concentrate, and if they taught this at school we'd all be laughing, but they don't, because all they do is just cram loads of stuff into your head and repeat it 300 times and hopefully you'll remember it. And whereas actually learning to use your brain to actually focus is the way to do it. So, how do you do it? Well, it's actually very simple. To stop overthinking, you have to first take back a bit of control. The easiest way to do it is to stop your body. Obviously stop, sit down, sit still. And then the quickest way that I've discovered, or that I think you can learn to overcome this, is to, it's a bit like mindfulness, but it's not quite the same. But you need to stop and think about just one thing. So here's how you do it. Pick one thing that you're going to think about for the next, and I would start with just 30 seconds, because if you're suffering from this a great deal, you may not even make it to 30 seconds, you might have to start at 10 seconds. Build yourself up to 20, 30, up to a minute, and build yourself up. And if you can get to 5 minutes, now that is a challenge, but if you can get to 5 minutes doing this, then you're going to smash it. And I honestly mean that, you will smash it. So, think of one thing, pick one thing you want to think about for 30 seconds, and you're only going to be thinking about that one thing for 30 seconds. So for example, I might think about, for argument's sake, my dog, Zach. He's a black Labrador, big softy, lovely. And I want to think about him. So all you do is just literally, and it sounds silly, but trust me, this is a really good one, is close your eyes and think to yourself about nothing else other than whatever your chosen subject is. So for me, I'll be thinking about Zach, thinking about his black ears, thinking about his lovely big brown eyes, his little grey hairs and his chin. And just, you don't have to verbalize it like I'm just doing that so you can see what I'm saying. But all you do is you think about that one thing for 30 seconds. And you're not allowed to have a single thought about anything else. So the minute you find yourself, so for me, I'll be thinking about Zach, I'll picture him, I can see him following me around because he does that a lot, and I can see him wagging his tail and he's sitting there. And then the minute I think about something else, open your eyes and stop and see how far you get. And practice this as often as you can. And when you can get to 30 seconds thinking of just that one thing, then you're ready to move up to a minute. And it sounds so easy, doesn't it? But I tell you, you're going to love this because it's going to piss you off. Because you'll find, actually, to get to a minute is quite hard. And I mean a minute, 60 seconds of thinking of just one thing. And nothing else. The minute something else enters your head, open your eyes and start again. And when you can get to a minute focusing on just one thing, go for a minute and a half and build up to 2 minutes. And actually it is remarkably difficult to do because it's not something we do. But if you can master this technique, what you're learning and teaching this grey matter to do is to stay focused on one thing and basically stuff the rest. And of course that works because the key to not overthinking is the key to being able to focus and to stay on one thought. So if you're thinking about that one thing, for example, let's say the next time you're thinking about, all you're going to think about is a cloud in the sky, a white cloud in the blue sky. And for 1 minute, that's all you're going to think about. So picture it in your mind, see it in your mind, and focus on it for 1 minute. And you can see the colour, the texture, the shape, all that. You can see the blue sky behind it. You're thinking about the cloud. And focus on just the cloud. You're not allowed to think about anything else for 1 minute. And see how you get on. Now practice this and it will become easier and you will become more robust. And what happens is that ability will allow you to pick the things that are stressing out. So all those what ifs that were really just flying around doing your head in, all those what ifs, you're able to pick the one that's important. So choose the one that really does matter. So what if I go to work tomorrow and I haven't done this piece of work, or what if I don't get this done in time? And just pick the one that you think is probably the biggest issue and focus on just that one thing. And when you focus on just that one thing at the expense of everything else, you're not allowed to think about anything else, just that one thing, focus on that one thing, you'll be able to put yourself in a position where you can actually think of a way to deal with it, what can be done about it, and how to act on it. And then you'll find that in time, you don't actually begin to worry like you used to, because at the moment, you cannot think of 20 different things, worry about them all and come up with answers for them all at the same time. No one can do that. Anyone who says they can is a bloody liar, because you can't. However, once you start to learn to focus your mind on one thing and one thing only, then you'll find you can get that control back. So give that a go. Start at 30 seconds, build up to a minute, go to 2 minutes. If you can get to 5 minutes, you're doing better than me, because I find it hard to get to about 4 minutes. And after about 4 minutes, something jumps into my head and I think, damn it, I was doing so well. But it's a skill and it develops over time and you get better and better at it. So give that a go. And the other thing is to talk about suggestion. Do not ever underestimate the power of suggestion. I mean, this is what hypnosis is all about, really, isn't it? Let's face it, it is your suggestibility while in a fixed state of mind, a focused, relaxed state of mind. And the power of suggestion is phenomenal. So don't forget to tell yourself every day, and do it in the present tense, not tomorrow I get better and better, but right now I am. In other words, say to yourself every morning when you wake up, I have a good day today, and I deal with things better and better as the day continues, etc. And make it all sort of like now, here and now. So today I feel stronger and more in control. And don't underestimate how powerful that is if you say that over and over and over. Or today I think about one thing at a time and I find it easy. And you'll be amazed what it does, because the power of suggestion is incredible. You know, I mean, people think, oh, power of suggestion, that's nonsense. But if I ask you a quick question, how many types of animal did Moses bring onto the ark when he brought them in back in biblical times? What was your answer? 2? No, you're wrong. Moses didn't bring anyone onto the ark, it was Noah. But the power of suggestion is incredible. You took it on board and you answered. You didn't stop, you didn't think, you just took that suggestion. I never said anything about Noah, and you assumed because the power of suggestion has put that in your head. And the other thing, just as an add-on, is to think about not thinking about things. Because the more you try and overthink, the more you overthink, the worse it gets. However, if you tell yourself, I'm not going to overthink, if you're going to not overthink, you have to first overthink. So you've actually just made it worse. You've amplified it. So you mustn't do things like, today, I'm not going to overthink today. Today I don't overthink. No, that's the wrong wording. Today I think more clearly is the thing to say. Not I don't overthink. Because to not overthink, you have to first overthink. And people think that can't be right. But if I say don't think of the colour green, You just did. You had to think of it. So it's that simple. It's that power of suggestion. So be careful and be mindful of what you say, and see how that grabs you. But just some fun things to try anyway. Any questions, any comments, let me know. Don't forget you can sign up and get your free MP3. So that'll be something that's useful for you. It's only 20 minutes long, and if you go to the website, put your email in, and that's something for you to do. And again, it works on the same thing about getting you to be just sitting still for a moment, and that really can help the anxiety. So that's another little tip. I think we've been through various little tips I've given you, but build these up, practice them every day, or pick the one that you think is the best one for you. So whether it's the breathing, the mindfulness, or the exercising, just thinking about one thing, or any of the other things that I've put on live feeds. If you scroll back down through the page, you'll see all those different things there, and use them and see which one you like, see which one gives you the best benefit. Because as I say to clients, we're not all the same, which is why I don't ever work from a script. What's the bloody point? It's like I've got this script and it works for everyone. Really? Okay. If you want to pay someone to sit there and read a script to you, then that's up to you. But personally, don't waste your money. The reason that hypnotherapy can be very effective is when it's one-to-one, it's dynamic, and you're working with that client. Working from a script, that's like assuming that if you read the instructions for one piece of machinery, it's going to work for all the bits of machinery in the workshop. That's a load of bollocks, isn't it? Let's face it, it's not real. When you're choosing a hypnotherapist, be careful, do your research, make sure that, they are what you think they are. Anyway, all your questions, come back to me. I'm happy to help. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday. I don't know about where you are, but in Norfolk, it is pissing it down. It really is a miserable day, and it's cold. It's actually cold. Out today, first time I realised I was out and about and it was bloody freezing. I actually felt cold. So winter's on its way. But that can be fun, that can be nice. Think about it in a positive way. Change your mindset. If you hate winter, tell yourself you'll like it. You'll be surprised what happens, and you might find things that you do like about it. But anyway, I may be coming back on here a bit later on, because I've got quite a lot of folks in America who are actively looking at the website and communicating with me. So I may do a live feed a bit later on. So obviously at the moment in America, I'm guessing it's, well, in New York, I guess it's about 6 in the morning, so I'm not guessing too many people will be up. But I may be back again, but obviously if you're in the UK, you can catch that later as well. Okay, enjoy your Sunday, take care, have fun, see you later, bye bye.